My name is Keshwani. That's Keshwani, Keshwani. I have been solving math problems for GMAT out of this book here, the GMAT Review, the official guide. If you do not own this book already, purchase one immediately. You will find it at mba.com. It's a very useful book. You must have it if you're preparing for GMAT. As I have said many a times in the past on several different clips, there is no such thing as the preparation for GMAT without owning this book, because that's where you're going to find the real questions. Let's take a look at the problem that I'm about to solve. It's something that you will find on page number 174, the very last problem on page number 174, problem solving 167. I use this notation of PS. This is the tag that you want to use. This is the format that you want to use if you're searching for a given problem. Just go to YouTube and just type in GMAT-P for page number, and then whatever the page number it is the problem is on, dash, and then PS for problem solving, and then the number of the problem. I use PS for problem solving because down the road I hope to solve the data sufficiency questions, which is going to be DS, D as in David, and S, data sufficiencies. I haven't gotten to those yet, but eventually I hope to. And to distinguish between the two questions, I use this notation here. But anyway, enough said. The problem here is that we're given an equation 1 plus 1 over x equals 2 times 2 over x, and the question simply is, what's the value of x? There are two ways I can solve this problem. One is what I call the classical way, the traditional way, the orthodox way, the geeky way, the nerdy way, the proper way, the academic way, the way your math teacher would like you to solve it. And other one is what I just call the quick and dirty way. Quick and dirty, not necessarily because it's quick, but it's just non-traditional way. The non-traditional way here would be, which is the way I, by the way, did it. And then I'm going to show you the proper way in a second, if you're interested. That is, if you're hell-bent on it. A, B, C, D, and E. -1, 1/3, 2/3, 2, and 3. That's the 2. Let me rewrite this equation here. 1 plus 1 over x equals 2 minus 2 over x. What I did was, and what I'm about to suggest may sound very insane to you, but that's exactly what I did here. It does not take that long. It only takes a few seconds. The reason why it takes time in my clips here is because I explain everything. But when you're doing it yourself, when I'm doing it myself for my own consumption, I don't write every bloody detail on the piece of paper. That's a waste of time. What I basically did is I started playing with the numbers here, the 5 of them. And I was hoping, I was keeping my fingers crossed. I was hoping that the answer is going to be one of those nice whole numbers, either this one, or this one. And if it's not, then I'll try one of the others, and it shouldn't take that long. So let's start out with. I started with -1. I'm not going to write everything down. I'm just going to, well, I can't help it. If I put in -1 here, this will be 1 over -1, which whole thing is going to be -1. I'm going to end up with a 0 on this side. And when I put a -1 here, 2 over -1, that's going to be a negative number, and a negative here. The whole thing is going to become positive. It's going to be 2 plus 2. The fact that it's 2 plus 2 is not an interest to me. What I'm trying to point out is that it's not going to be 0. It's going to be 2 plus some other quantity. It's not going to be 0. On this side, if you plug in -1, you should immediately be able to see that 1 over -1 is just -1. 1 plus -1 is 0. A does not work. So that did not work. Fine. Next I tried 2. If I put 2 in here, on this side I end up with 1.5. And on this side, if I put in 2 here, 2 over 2 is 1. 2 minus 1 is 1. It does not work. 2 did not work. Let's try 3. Let's try 3. That's what I mean. It should take no more than a few seconds. Each try should take about 10-15 seconds at the very most. Let's try 3. So if I put in 3 here, I end up with 1 and 1/3. Because 1 plus 1/3 is 1 and 1/3. And here I end up with 2 minus 2/3. Well, 2 minus 2/3 is 1 and 1/3. If you take away 2/3 from 2, you end up with 1 and 1/3. That's it. It works. That's it. We're done. The answer is E. That's all I did when I was solving it myself for the very first time. Now, if you like, as I said, if you're hell bent on it, If you must see the proper academic way, I'll show it to you. So let's do the proper way. Find the common denominator here. This is just 1 over 1 and this is just 2 over 1. The common denominator here is x. So I end up with here x plus 1. And here we end up with common denominator of x again. And end up with 2x minus 2. 2x minus 2. And since I have this quantity over x and this quantity over x, that plays no role. For example, if I tell you that that 5 plus 10 over 3, 15 over 3 is 5, equals 50 over, let's not make it complicated, 2 plus 13 over 3, that 3 plays no role, because I can multiply both sides of the equation by 3. If I multiply both sides of the equation by 3, that 3 will disappear. It plays no role. As you can see, 2 plus 3 is 15 divided by 3 is 5, and 5 plus 10 is 15 divided by 3 is 5. That 3 plays no role. So if I multiply both sides of the equation by x, this x drops out, and we end up with x plus 1 equals 2x minus 2. Subtract x from both sides and you end up with x. Well, let me actually do it out instead of just talking about it. If I subtract x from here and x from here, you end up with 1 equals x minus 2. Add 2 to both sides and you end up equals x equals to 3. That's it. That's your classical way. That's all. It's not. I hope you can read the green marker. I shouldn't have picked it up, but it's too late now. I hope you understood it, but I did not do it this way. I did not waste my time like this. I just started playing around with it. It's very simple. Okay, very simple. Put in -1 here, and you should be able to see immediately. I'm going to quickly give you a recapitulation here. If you put in -1 here, you should immediately see that 1 over -1 is just -1. This side is going to be 0. This side is going to be positive number, because negative and another negative, this whole thing is going to become positive. Positive number cannot equal to 0. That does not work. So I try 2 next. That gives me 1 and 1/2 on this side. And 2 over 2 is 1. 2 minus 1 is 1. On this side I have 1 and 1/2. It doesn't work. 2 does not work. When I try 3, it worked immediately. If I try 3, I end up with 1 and 1/3 on this side. If you put in 3 for x here, you'll end up with 1 and 1/3 on this side. And on the other side, you end up with 2 minus 2/3. Well, 2 minus 2/3, 2 minus a 2/3 is 1 and 1/3. That's all. So they equal to each other. So 3 worked. I did not do it this way. But anyway, I did it again. I did it anyway for your sake, if that's what you wanted. You know, different people, different strokes for different folks, as they say. I don't know what your taste is, and I don't know what your ability is, and so forth. But you're missing the point. Even if you have the ability for the algebra, even if you are very good at algebra, this is pointless. What's the bloody point of it? Nobody looks at your work. They're not interested in what work you're doing. They're not interested in how sophisticated your solution is. They're just interested in whether or not you clicked on the right bubble. That's what they're interested in. So what's the point of showing my work? No bloody point. But anyway, I hope you found it helpful. If you wish to purchase my DVDs, in which I show you the solutions to all the math problems, or if you wish to hire me for personal private tutoring, in either case, go to my website at www.prep4gmat.com and send me an email. Alright, and we'll talk. Thank you.